Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast, live on 16:42, a little bit later than expected, for both of us going through. I was about to say both of us going through potty training. We're not going through potty training, but our children are. How are you, Neil? You well?
I'm good. I like the provocative title for this one, Sabin the Tyne, Oleeeee. Then it's I think that one's going to do well in the old SEO counter. Right?
Well, I will clarify to the Newcastle fans that have stumbled upon this and my Newcastle colleagues as well. Hi, Andrew. I know you're probably tuned in to see what the title's all about. I've baited you, I'll be honest. I don't really agree with the kind of faux rivalry between Villa and Newcastle. I think, as I've said many times before, I'd rather us two competing for the Champions League places and winning trophies than Man United and Arsenal and Liverpool. I'm on your side, Newcastle, but I am delighted to finally get one over on you today. At last, 21 years, is it, Neil? 2005, the last time Villa won there, certainly in the league at least. A hoodoo that we're all fully aware of. Right off St James's, we lose there every year. Right off Selhurst Park, we lose there every year. And in a couple of weeks, we got a point there, 3 points here, contended with injuries. The disappointment at the Everton game, and we've bounced back fantastically well this week. Fair play, Aston Villa, and to Unai Emery and all the staff, the players, everybody, for a brilliant couple of days. Two really tough games there, Neil. Fenerbahce away and Newcastle away, known for the atmosphere, the record we've got at Newcastle. As I say, the injuries that we're contending with, to come out with back-to-back wins and clean sheets is incredible.
That's the big thing is the clean sheets, Dan, because look, the Everton game was an absolute blip at the last weekend. The performance wasn't at the level that we normally expect from Aston Villa. It did seem like there was quite an element of non-Aston Villa fan base, I suppose, neutral fans, national broadcast media or whatever, that were very keen to go, is this the end? Is this the wheels falling off? Is Unai Emery annoyed? Will Unai Emery even be there this time next week? And I thought it went from 0 to 100 in a ridiculous amount of time, to be honest with you. But this weekend should really kind of put how will I put it? It should really kind of put us a small bit more security, I suppose, in the mindset with regards to how this team is feeling, how this team is doing. We've lost Boubacar Kamara, we've lost John McGinn, we've won our last two games in two very inhospitable environments. We've played 8 of our last 11 games away from home, and we've this really good run of form that we're on at the moment also as well. The bounce back ability that we had from that Everton game is essentially what I'm getting at. That's what we all wanted to see. We've scored 3 goals, we've conceded none, we've had 2 away games. And Aston Villa are now 11 points ahead of Manchester United, 10 points ahead of Liverpool, and we've plus 10 goal difference when the teams around us, the teams below us have plus 14 and plus 6 and plus 3, I think Liverpool's is at the moment. So things are going well for Aston Villa. The machine is taking over, and Unai Emery has this small bunch of players really humming at the moment, regardless of who comes into that back line. And also, I would go so far as to say is, regardless who comes into playing behind Ollie Watkins currently at the moment, we seem to be getting a tune from them. So long may that continue.
Yeah, absolutely. As coming from Johnny, teams don't win at Fenerbahce. Teams don't stop the tune scoring at home, and up pops Unai's army to do both. Yeah, Fenerbahce don't often lose at home. I think that's the first team, I think, in the league for Newcastle haven't scored against at home. Their home record is obviously quite good. Won 6 or 7 games out of, obviously they've not won loads this year, but most of their form has come at home, and they score obviously because they're winning games. So to stop them doing that is obviously an achievement as well. Andrew says nearly 300. Yeah, I'll just read the comments for a bit, mate. For those that are listening, you might notice that Neil is not in his usual podcasting environment, but he's absolutely doing me a favour with this one. He's got children to look after, so fair enough. Nearly 300 watching, says Andrew, and only 30 likes. Give it a thumbs up. Yeah, please do. That'd be really nice. A huge win. It cannot be.
That one was self-inflicted, Dan. That was over boiling pot of pasta. So
okay, fair enough.
My kids can't blame them in that instance.
I'll tell you what, Neil, podcasting, pasta and kids all at once. Fair play, mate. You can do a bit of everything.
I am your bicentennial man, or whatever it is. I don't even know what the bicentennial man was. It's just the first thing that came to my mind there. Anyway,
I was just reading a couple of comments. I just can't. That's a massive result, that is, and the performance as well was really good. That's one of the brightest sparks for me. Yeah, going there and winning is something we don't often do, and we can talk about like tracking for where points totals are, because I think we always beat Villa. We always beat Everton at Villa Park, and we didn't. And we normally lose at St James's. So we've got 3 points from those 2 games, but probably in the wrong order. So we're about where I expected us to be. We don't often beat Man United full stop, and we have this year. We don't often go to Selhurst Park and win. We didn't win, but we got a draw. So we're kind of doing better in some places and worse in others. But overall, doing brilliantly and about where I expect us to be. But the start of the game, exactly the same as last year. 35, 40 seconds, they should score, apart from a Martinez save. And we spoke in the fan zone show in the build up to the game from James there. I don't want to hear anyone's question Martinez's mindset ever again about that. Is he kind of being flaky in the Europa League and then coming back for the Premier League? And is that right? And is this a distraction? Yada, yada, yada. Marco Bizot's done very, very well. And I think he'll probably play against Salzburg on Thursday. And we'll probably, hopefully, do well again. But Emi Martinez, so far this season, I feel like he's either been brilliant or a bit of a disaster. And those 2 are probably the extreme ends of my point here. But he can make a mistake last week and palm the ball back into danger and we lose the game. And today, he absolutely keeps us in it in the first minute. And there was a chance later in the game with the one-handed kind of backwards, the one that was behind him. I can't remember who that was. Those are 2 brilliant saves, particularly that first one. If Newcastle go 1-0 up in the first 30 seconds, the stadium is completely different. The game plan is completely different. So that's him absolutely winning us points. And obviously Buendia's got to go and do his job, and Watkins seals the deal in the end. But if not for Martinez in those first few seconds, I don't think he wins it.
I absolutely agree. That save was outstanding. That save with his feet was absolutely outstanding. Even, look, and he doesn't mean to get it as far away from the goals as he does in that instance, but like everything about that save, usually you get your foot to those, the ball loops up and then just bounces over the line haplessly, and you look and people looking at it, and somebody's sliding into the net, and someone else is hitting the post, and it's like a World War II film all over. Bodies just going everywhere. That's normally what happens there. But it didn't, and it went over. And then Maatsen and Konsa both stand kind of
very calm.
And Vissa comes in, and you're like, "Good, what's happening here?" But all's well that ends well. And after that, I suppose bar those 2 saves, I thought Villa were very, very much on top. And
100% in the first half. I mean, it was Lewis Miley's header was the other save I was thinking of just before half time, which again, crucial point in the game still. Obviously, we're 1-0 up at that point, but if it goes into half time at 1-1, again, completely different complexion of the game. So it can't be like, I can't overstate how big a deal both those saves were. But yeah, just a nice, controlled, calm performance from Villa, I thought. Really just going and doing the job, playing some really nice football, some really nice combination play, and we'll talk about the goal in a second. But I think up until that second chance from Miley, they'd only made 1 effort on goal the first 30 seconds. It was total domination really then for the first half from Villa, and I thought, kind of sat back at half time, fair play, like we're a proper team, aren't we? And I know I should know that anyway because I watch Villa win most weeks, but when you go to a game like that, we normally don't do well in and control it and limit them to absolutely nothing. You just have to kind of sit back and take in, like, we're so lucky to be watching this team at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. And under a master of the game of football, that was a masterclass. That was a tactical masterclass today. I think even like, and it's not a talking point anymore how good Matty Cash is, as a right back. Like Anthony Gordon. Okay, I'm going to say something that might be a juxtaposition here. I might be hypocritical, but what's happened to Anthony Gordon? He was like he can only run in straight lines now. Like he can't. I said this in our podcast. He can't go to the World Cup for England. No way in the world can he go to the World Cup for England. There was talks about him playing as a lone striker for England recently. I thought, I looked at him and I went, Matty Cash is going to have him in his pocket. Like, is going to be very easily able to deal with this guy because of the defensive work Jadon Sancho was doing as well. Also, a lot of neutrals were saying as the teams were released, they were saying Villa's high line is going to get absolutely bamboozled and decimated with Barnes and Gordon going in behind. Our high line was absolutely fine. We kept everything in front of us. I think Onana, and the reason for that was I think Onana and Tielemans were brilliant in their spacing and in their positioning. The fact they just divided the pitch in 2 and they were very diligent in what they did there. Buendia was really good as well. He hugged the touchline when he needed to, but he came in and drifted in beside Rodgers as his reference for the goal. He was really good at doing that as well, drifting in and coming in behind Rodgers, making sure that one of the flat 3 midfield of Miley, Joelinton and Tonali had to be aware of where he was, and usually it was Miley because the other two have no interest in tracking players at all. Unlike what Jolinton does when he wants to kick them, that's about it. But I think a lot of that was pre-prescribed. I think they wanted to funnel the ball to Anthony Gordon down that left-hand side, which they did when they had the ball in build-up play. The more spontaneous kind of counter-attacking went down the left, which Maatsen was always going to have the pace with Barnes there. And I think we nullified both of those guys. And when they tried to get it through the centre, we were so disciplined there that it was kind of, it just wasn't going to happen, you know. So I was very, very impressed with the setup of the team.
Yeah, me too. We'll talk about man of the match in a second. I took a couple of notes. I often do this on my phone when I'm watching an away game, but obviously I don't do it at Villa Park, so I think that'd be weird, sitting there tapping away with notes on my phone. Pope made a great save. 11 minutes. I've got Watkins, Sancho, and Tielemans combined from Watkins before Sancho and Tielemans combined. Theo makes a mess of it. Decent effort from Watkins, but a good stop from Pope's feet as well. And it probably at that point, if it went 1-1, you'd go, okay, fair enough. Like, they scored early. We got back into it 10 minutes later. This is a good game to watch, and Villa are still in control during those periods. The actual goal that we go on to score, the finish, obviously brilliant. And you almost kind of just put that out there as red. Like, obviously, anyone who sees that goal on any replay, on Match of the Day, on Twitter, wherever it is, you go, oh yeah, brilliant goal. But the move to get it to that point is just peak Emery ball that we've seen time and time again. I think it's Buendia that pings it out to Cash that starts it.
Yeah.
You see that box midfield come in, they all combine in a little square. Buendia's through, it suddenly opens up, and you have that exact same moment, probably with a little bit less time, for Rodgers at West Ham, where you think, you can hit it there. You've got time there. You've got a bit more time than maybe you think. It's opened up a little bit. And it's particularly in the way that Rodgers hit the one against West Ham and Buendia's hit that one today. It's kind of like Villa work themselves into like free kick territory, and they hit it that way. I've got a bit of space. I'm going to put a bit of swerve on it, test the keeper from distance, and just see what happens. And we're bloody good at it as well. So not only is the finish great, but the move that gets there as well is just, that is so crafted so beautifully.
I agree. The fact that, you know, we have that situation I spoke about there, Buendia coming deeper than because he started off on that left hand side, moving into the centre, almost playing behind as an intermediary between Onana and Tielemans and the two guys, Sancho and Rodgers, because Sancho and Rodgers were inverted at times as well. Picks up that ball there. There's a lovely ball out, as you say. And then it was just intricate passing. Like, there's some really good passing. The Pythagorean almost movements of players and of build-up play that comes under Unai Emery. And I'd expect no less from a professor to have some sort of geometrical kind of pattern to the way that we build up. And I'm not saying that that's done by design, but the triangulation in midfield is, and that's one of the oldest tricks in the book. Johan Cruyff was somebody who really, really believed in that, and obviously taking elements of that, Unai Emery has become brilliant at it too. That shot was something out of the next world though, because I'll tell you, the way that he just puts that right in the side netting, that's a skill that can't be taught. And I'm being joined here by somebody who you stayed on the drum. You trying your sock, do you?
I'll ask you a question. I presume you got headphones.
Yes, I can still hear you. Yeah.
Snail Robot says, Neil, how difficult is it for you to bite your tongue with no expletives on this podcast compared to your own? Now, much easier, I'm sure, when there's children around as well. But if you, I mean, not right this second, Neil, because obviously you're preoccupied. But if you want to swear, you're more than welcome to. We'll have to tag it as an expletive episode. And if you are about to swear, Neil, if anyone's a nervous disposition out there that don't like swearing, Neil, if you want to, you can go for it if you like.
I'm okay. I got it out of my system in my own podcast, and plus. Yeah, I had the door closed for the last one anyway. Well, I had the door closed. I actually set up the bloody camera inside there so I could keep an eye on him, because he's liable to do anything. I mean,
fair play for even doing this, to be honest. We normally do half an hour, but I'm going to try and wrap up in about 20 because I appreciate the time you've given me. Jolinton, I'm amazed he's not been sent off during that game.
Me too.
He doesn't get booked for... I mean, I've put Jolinton should be booked on Yuri. I can't quite remember what it was. Is it the one... No, he was booked, wasn't he, for the tackle on somebody?
Yeah, the one in Onana.
Was it Onana? Yeah, I see. Onana. Was booked for that one. That should have been his second booking. He should already have been booked before then anyway. And that was, 30 minutes in or something? I was sitting there thinking, he's accumulated enough challenges to have probably 3 yellow cards here. So the fact he's not got sent off at all, I'm staggered. He's a good player. And watching it on Sky, they were talking about his 250th game and signed under Steve Bruce as a striker. I was like, oh yeah, kind of forgot about that. He was awful, wasn't he? It was a bit of a joke signing. Eddie Howe puts him in midfield and completely transforms his game. And he's a good player. I do rate him. He's a strong, tough tackling, busybody. You know, if he played for you, you'd love him. But he is dirty.
Yeah, he's dirty. He knew what he was doing in that Onana as well. Like there was no way he was getting it. He had, that's his shtick. His shtick is all about being a bully or being that stop pushing the dog, will you? It's that being a bully and being a bouncer almost in the middle of midfield. And to be honest with you, kind of caught up with him in this game because we handed it back to him after that Onana attack. We handed it back to him a couple of times and he went off injured. Now I don't think he went off injured because of anything we did, but he went off injured. And that tackle afterwards, Onana crunched him with one. Tielemans crunched into him with one. I think Matty Cash might have left something on him as well at one stage. I can't remember.
Did he try and flick out a little bit?
Yeah, the Villa boys kind of went, right, we're not taking this anymore from this lump anymore. He went off in 60 minutes.
Two levels of frustration I've got noted down. Ollie Watkins' performance in the first half and the stadium. So I think Villa did very, very well to shut the stadium
I can hear you, sorry,
as early as they could. Be a frustration. Play the game in such a way that don't give Newcastle a minute, don't give the fans a minute to get involved or to get themselves, G'd up. And I think if they had scored in the first 35 seconds, that would have been the case, right? So to go there, know it's going to be a difficult atmosphere and to stop it ever building up to that level, I think is great. That's exactly what you need to do in those circumstances. On Ollie Watkins, and I'm sure Neil still can hear me, but I've got him on mute, so we'll see what he says when he comes back. The goal he's got, great positioning, great run to get on the end of it, and it seals the deal. And I'm happy that he scored. But his final ball or his decision making, or less so the decision making and more so the execution of some of the decisions, he's just not at it at the moment. The one where he's heading through on goal and Rodgers is on his left and I think Sancho's on his right and he goes towards his right to play in Sancho. That's fine. Like that's an okay decision to make. But the execution of the pass just gives it straight back to the Newcastle defence. And it's like, what a wasted opportunity. At the point when it's only 1-0 and you might only get one decent chance to go and kill the game. If we come back to not win this game, you'll look at those moments and go, how can we get past this? And I think there probably is a bit of fatigue there and whatever, but some of it will be confidence as well that, yes, he gets his goal and that's great, but his all-round play in those moments of you have to get it right here and now. Like, yes, run the channels and work hard. I get all that. But if you're in a position to thread a pass or get a shot off and you don't get it right, that changes games.
Yeah, that pass, the one that you referenced there to Sancho, that was really septic. That was bad. Yeah. Like he just passes it straight. There was no angle on that pass whatsoever, and it goes straight to Lewis Hall at that stage. And yeah, I was kind of feared for him. Now I think the Pope makes a good save for the one that goes between his legs. I think a lot of people would say he should be going either side of him, but there's more of an angle there than we can see when it's on TV like that. Should he score it? I think he probably should, but like Pope makes a good save. I don't have anything wrong with him trying to go underneath the goalkeeper there. And then his goal, I think he does everything right to take it, heads that ball down, keeps the goalkeeper scrambling across, heads that ball down, gives him less of a chance and gets his goal. And look, at the end of the day, that's what it will show, that Newcastle had a goal scored against them by Ollie Watkins. Yeah. But I am interested and I am hopeful that we do get some sort of, the Tammy coming in there will be an issue, will help with that.
Johnny says, this is the hardest I've seen you come down on Ollie, and it's probably due. I've slagged him off's the wrong word, but I've been critical of his performances before. This isn't the first time, but we've won the game, so I'm not that annoyed. But this is, in that moment, it was like, oh, come on. Like, I've been critical of other players, probably for things like that. Whereas I've maybe let Ollie Watkins get away with a little bit from time to time, just because I know he is a goal scorer and he normally does get to a certain amount. And I don't think he will get to. Well, I hope he gets to 15, but I think it's going to be difficult for him because I think Tammy Abraham's going to play in some games. So that's a good thing for Villa, right? That Tammy will be here, and I think he will take chances and score goals because we create them. So I'm going to back Tammy to go and do that. So yeah, frustrating. I want him to fix up ASAP, but if he doesn't, like I was critical of Villa's the handling of the Marlon situation, particularly after Everton, you lose the game. Fenerbahce, a new striker, couldn't play anyway, but we've won. Today, would we have changed it if Tammy was there? Yeah, probably, but we won anyway, and Watkins scored. So I'm not going to, like, today's not the day to be, oh, that was, blah, blah, blah. We shouldn't have done that. And Watkins is a disgrace. I don't think his all-round performance was anywhere near good enough. But like you say, Neil, he scored the goal that's got us to win 2-0. So
I'm glad you mentioned about the 15-goal thing, because mea culpa and hold my hands up here. I don't normally get to it, but I remember the two of us had a conversation. I can't remember after what game it was. It was early on in the year. It was when we were losing, and we had a conversation. And it was probably just after we went on the winning run, about whether he would get to 10 goals or 15 goals or whatever.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Would he get to 10 goals at the turn of the year and then 15 goals at the end? And I was like, oh, I don't think there's any way. But you were like, no, he's going to hit a run of form. Maybe he does hit that run of form now that Tammy's come in and is now in, well, looks like he's going to be in the squad. And imagine he's going to be announced probably later on today, maybe early tomorrow morning, to build on the positivity of this win today. But he needs help. He does need help for sure.
Yeah. And maybe that competition coming in will help him, or maybe it will put him into his shell even further. But as long as somebody is scoring goals and Aston Villa winning games, I don't really care who it is, to be honest. Little injury update then. John's messaged me, but there's people in the live chat discussing it anyway, because it'll have been tweeted anyway by now. John McGinn injured 1 to 2 months is what Emery said. 6 weeks is what other people are saying. So around that mark. It's a decent chunk of games, but I do think there's plenty of winnable games in February. I think we'll manage without McGinn, to be honest, to get through Fenerbahce and Newcastle away without him. If we can't beat the likes of Brentford, Leeds and Wolves without McGinn, I'd be surprised. We should be able to win those games without John McGinn. The fear was it might be for the season for him as well. So for it to be 6 weeks or so, say 8 weeks even, okay, I think we'll be okay. Tielemans' ankle injury is all John's put. There's not, obviously there won't be any time scale on that at the moment, so we'll wait and see for that one. Hopefully that won't be anything too serious either. Just on McGinn, as a roundabout way to talk about Leon Bailey, what did you make of him when he came on? Because I was very like, this is a moment. Like, I know we're going to be talking about the game after. Leon Bailey coming on for half an hour is, I'm focused in on this. How does he do? I'm very intrigued. What Leon Bailey are we going to get here? The one that played for us last year wasn't very good because he was loaned out. The one that's been on loan at Roma hasn't been particularly good either. But I thought he looked pretty good in little flashes. His energy seemed to be there, the work rate and the desire to maybe come on and prove a bit of a point potentially, or to help us get over the line. If Bailey's going to be available for the next 6 to 8 weeks while John McGinn isn't, and he plays to that level, and obviously better, that's going to really help us.
I think Bailey was, like, if we get 15, 20 minutes like that from Bailey every single week, I think we'd be absolutely delighted.
Yeah.
But cutting towards the box, look, he didn't do a whole pile defensively, but he was an outlet ball. A couple of his passes were heavy hit into the middle of midfield at times, but that's fine. That's just like timing issues and stuff like that he'll get with more, refamiliarizing himself with training. But one of the big things that I liked from him today was, we didn't see what we saw from Leon Bailey last year, whereby sometimes he just ran into the fullback, like literally just ran straight at him and got tackled. We didn't see that today. He was stopping, he was trying to play those triangles, and he had 1 or 2 opportunities whereby the ball broke, where he got in around that box. Maybe he was a bit gun shy in a couple of opportunities and didn't take the shot on himself. But if we get 15, 20 minutes like that from him and get those 6.5 performances, 7 out of 10 performances between now and the end of the season, it will definitely look good, I think, because he is a field stretcher. No matter what, whether he scores or not, he does stretch the field, and teams have to game plan for that. They just have to.
Yeah, exactly that. Me and John are going to do a big fat bumper Q&A tomorrow, so we'll do a big lengthy discussion then on things we've maybe not touched on so far. To get involved with that, the mailbag link is in the description on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, where it says Dan Rolinson and Neil Dunworth talk about blah, blah. If you scroll down there, it says Claret and Blue mailbag. You can ask your questions in there. One final one to you, Neil, before I let you go. And if Andrew Lysett is right and bang up to date, it's 1-1 now in Arsenal, Man United. Arsenal were winning 1-0 previously with a Martinez own goal. It is now 1-1 and Buemo scored. What result do you want there, John? Neil? What result, Neil, do you want in the Arsenal-Man United game to benefit Aston Villa?
Does it matter whether we're 11 points or 10 points ahead of Man United? I wouldn't like them to win. Anything but
I'd never want Man United to win ever. So yeah, put that down straight away.
Yeah. I think awful stuff here from Buemo's goal. Really bad back pass from one of the Arsenal boys there. But anything, a draw or from Hincapié, a draw or an Arsenal win this one I'm looking for here. I don't want United to come and catch us.
So you're more bothered about the teams behind us than the title race.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think
because our goal difference, we're +10, they're like +26 or 29 or something like that. And I can't see us making up that. So like even by the time we make up 7 points on Arsenal at the moment, or whatever it is, I think it's 7 points. By the time we make that up, we have to make up the 8th point anyway from goal difference. So like, is it impossible to go? But it's more probable that we need to keep the teams behind us. And if we keep the teams behind us, well then, we may catch the teams in front of us by dint of that anyway.
Yeah, there's a few people in the comments suggesting they do want United to win because it keeps it more open, and I do get that. It's like so Arsenal at the moment, a live league table, they're on 51. So if they were to lose, they're on 50. You have 4 points behind Arsenal and 9 points ahead of Man United. Those are probably both good situations to be in, but I still want to be as far ahead of the other teams as we can. So I think a draw is the sensible answer. It keeps us within touching distance of both. In touching distance of Arsenal, and still keeps Man United far enough behind us. They're on 36 points. We're 46. Chelsea 37. 46 for us, 46 for Man City,
and that's exactly it.
Arsenal.
If it's a draw today, whether Arsenal are 4 or 5 points ahead of us, if we are in this title race, we're going to need to win 2 more games and then put us 6 points. And so a draw won't work because of our goal difference. That's what I was trying to get at with regards to my mathematics. So a draw today is the best result for us.
But the thing is, if we keep winning to keep, like you say, to keep the gap behind us big, there's a chance that we close the gap to the teams ahead of us as well, because they might slip up one of the weeks. I mean, it's a shame we don't have to play Arsenal again. Obviously, we're losing to them. You might think, if we start to play Arsenal as well, then let's keep them as close as possible. But if they keep winning, then they'll win the league. But they are likely to slip up somewhere. It's still a long way to go. I'm just happy we win. The others can do what they want. At the end of the season, if we keep winning, we'll finish in the Champions League places. So I'm not that bothered, to be honest. But I think a draw is the sensible result. Right, Neil, I'll let you go back to pasta or children or whatever it is you're up to. Thank you for doing this, mate. I appreciate it.
Apologies for having to run away all the time. And you probably heard me. The child was trying to run out the front door, and I was like, I'm trying to do a podcast. Go back. I don't know
what you're on about. What's a podcast? No, I appreciate you doing it. I've done me a favour big time. If you weren't here, I'd be on my own. No one wants to watch that. So thank you for doing it. Thanks to everyone who tuned in live, maybe instead of watching the Man United Arsenal game, so you can go and catch the second half of that. Obviously, for those watching on catch up, you knew what the result was for the Arsenal United game. So the last 5 minutes has been completely pointless. However, the 25 minutes before that was hopefully good fun as we discussed Aston Villa finally ending the hoodoo at St James's Park. I'll be back on Monday with John Townley as we look ahead to Brentford and Salzburg and Villa winning games after winning games after winning games. It's a bloody good feeling. Enjoy it, everybody, and we'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.